That's right. The game isn't even over and we're on the air. Adley goes deep. Cedric goes deep twice. Zach Eflin looks like an ace. And there's so much more to tell you about. Why am I all smiles? All smiles because all Birds fans are all smiles right now, because any doubt that you had in your mind about the Orioles, about the pitching, about the lineup, about the power, about anything, the fielding, all of those worries were assuaged for just one day after a big Orioles opening day victory, historic in some ways. I'm going to give you my 4 key takeaways in just a moment. Please like, subscribe. This, as you know, is Orioles Digest. Let's start with the elephant in the room and the questions of whether or not Zach Eflin is an ace. Well, I can tell you for one day at least, no question that Zach Eflin is an ace today. 6 innings pitched, literally one bad pitch the whole game, a dinger. 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. That's Zach Eflin. That is Zach Eflin's day. It was a phenomenal day. He looked every part of the ace today. And frankly, my friends, for all of the criticism that Zach got in terms of not his performance, but the idea that he's not a top-line starter, these are the numbers, and the numbers don't lie from last year. 28 games, 165 innings pitched, 22 homers allowed, 134 Ks, and that ERA of 3.5. And again, as I said, Zach Eflin looking every part of the ace today in a big opening day victory against Toronto. That's takeaway 1. Takeaway 2 is, as Cedric Mullins goes, the Orioles typically have gone. Cedric Mullins went deep twice today. Cedric Mullins has something to prove. And today, at least, for one day, with the Orioles sitting at 1 win and no losses, Cedric Mullins showed why he's so important to this ball club with 2 long balls. Nobody disputes the fact that Ceddy has to improve upon these numbers from last year. The 18 dingers, the 54 runs batted in, only 104 hits. The 32 steals were good. The 98 strikeouts were not. And nobody will tell you that if Cedric Mullins has a down year this year, nobody will tell you if Ceddy has a down year this year that the Orioles are going to be okay, because it's going to be awfully hard for that to happen, because Cedric Mullins is such an integral part of this team. Now, speaking of integral parts of this team and thinking of 2 home run ball games and thinking of people who need to be solid this year, we all know that Adley needs to be this team's leader, this team's heart and soul, along with Gunnar, who is currently out with an injury. Adley Rutschman, 2 long balls today. 2 long balls. The Orioles with 2 home runs in an opening day game. This has only happened a smattering of times in history. Today, both Cedric and Adley each had 2 home runs in a game. It's only ever happened in 1990 with Sam Horn and 1973 with Brooks Robinson. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. The power today. Earl Weaver would have been happy. Earl Weaver would have been proud. Speaking of historic, not only the 2 dingers from Ced and from Adley, but also there's this. Tyler O'Neill, first regular season game in a Birds uniform. And what does he do? He homers. And why is that significant? Because Tyler O'Neill has homered in 6 straight opening days. A record. 6 straight opening days. Tyler O'Neill has gone deep. He did it again today in an historic record. 6 straight opening days with a home run. So, our takeaways, and I want to hear from you in the comments. Yes, we can't get too excited about one big opening day win, but there was so much anxiety over, can Zach Eflin be a top-line starter? Will this lineup actually produce enough runs to bail out our pitching staff if it gives up a huge amount of runs? And so for one day, we can celebrate the 4 key takeaways, which are Eflin can be an ace. We saw it today. He literally made 1 bad pitch today in 6 innings. That's number 1. Number 2, we know Cedric Mullins needs to have a heck of a year, and he needs to look like the Ced of old. He did today with 2 dingers. We know that Adley needs a bounce back from that weak second half last year, and we started to see that today with the 2 long balls. And Tyler O'Neill. The Orioles signed Tyler O'Neill to do exactly what he did today. In fact, he reached base all 4 times he was up today, and that's why he was brought here. He was brought here to anchor the middle of that lineup and to, in a lot of ways, replace the man on the other side of the field today, Anthony Santander, who had nothing compared to the day that Tyler O'Neill did. So for one day, Birds fans, we can celebrate an opening day victory and put many of our anxieties to rest. They have been assuaged for one day only. It's a 4-game series in Toronto before the O's have their home opener against Boston on Monday. I'm Jon Leiberman. This is Orioles Digest. Thank you so much for tuning in.